Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, there's this video that was going around on YouTube the other day, which is really controversial in that I'm glad that it's been taken down as far as that goes, and it just shows the absurdity of how some people could do just to get views on YouTube, for that matter, and what I'm talking about here is like CJ's is cool or whatever that guy's name is, but he was one of those people that are like part of the reaction videos, but like how they don't really do it like how I did, like the reaction videos to it, where I stopped, where I played a little bit and then I stopped a little bit, played a little bit, and like that. He's like one of those people that just plays like the video and hardly ever really does anything. And yet he kind of siphons views out of other people there. So, anyways, the video in question is where he decides to play like some sort of prank on his kids, as far as that goes, and where he slipped laxatives in their ice cream, as far as that goes, and which is very cruel as far as that goes. That he ran around and filmed them having the having the stomach problems and having to go to the bathroom and all this sort of stuff, and then basically humiliate them as far as that goes. And although people are going to go around and say, but Scott, you're not a parent and all that. How can you go around and say things about that? But the well, the truth is, like, I'm not a parent yet as far as that goes. But although one of my cousins, she already has like children like that age, like they're about, one's about 5 and the other one's about 7, I think, and she and her husband would never ever do something like that to their kids, as far as that goes. And then there's another cousin in my family that's been married for 2 years, but I don't know if she has kids yet, and I'm sure that she's planning on having kids, as far as that goes. But I'm sure that she and her husband would never do things like that, as far as that goes. And then, even if like YouTube existed back then, I'm sure my parents would never do something like that, just to get views, as far as that goes, or let alone even doing something like that as a form of a punishment or something like that. Because there are some parents that take the punishment way too extremes, as far as that goes. But in a way, it's like with mom and dad. However, they were never really the type to kind of do corporal punishment or anything of that sort. And then there are some like parents that say things like oh, like the downfall of society is like this because they don't discipline their kids or something like that. And then there's just some people that define discipline very differently, because there are some people that think like, oh, spanking is good or something like that, and all that sort of stuff. But even back then, when I was a kid, as far as that goes, mom never really believed that much as far as spanking, as far as that goes. She only maybe done it like maybe once or twice with me, as far as that goes, but then believed it was just not really good, as far as that goes. But and then most of the parents nowadays just usually do form of timeouts, as far as that goes. But then again, there are like some of those other parents that go as far as like giving their kids bad haircuts and all this sort of stuff as a form of punishment. I mean, when is like humiliating kids is a form of punishment, as far as that goes? When then you're gonna have them have they're gonna have like some sort of other kind of problems down the road, and in some cases that the kids will probably might retaliate at some point in the future, as far as that goes, or you know like say some sort of like false allegations against you and all that sort of stuff just because you give them a bad haircut or take away their PS Vita or something like that or whatever, you know. I mean, I probably would have done that if I was like that kind of a mean kid in that point in time, you know. If I was that much of a bad kid and gone around and made false allegations to my parents and blah 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 blah, you know, and whatever it is, but in a way, it's like what I see like on those sort of shows like that, like wife swap. There was always been that one of the parents are always like being a little bit too laid back, and there was always the other ones that run their house like a prison camp, and then it's always like what I've learned from all that was just to be somewhere in the middle, you know. But in a way, I could probably go on and on about like some of those videos that air, you know, about that whole story there, you know, that how there's just some straight people that don't deserve to have kids as far as that goes, and how like the whole foster system is all this, and how some of them are just going around making a case against gay parenting and all this sort of stuff. And I mean, in reality, that it doesn't really matter whether if a kid is being raised by a mom or dad or two moms or two dads or whatever, you know, as long as there's a parent or guardian that's willing to take care of them and keep them safe and all this sort of stuff, you know, that's just all that matters. So, anyways, guess that's probably it until next time.